"You're suspended, Claire. Effective immediately." The administrator's words dropped like a hammer, echoing through the sterile ER corridor as if the walls themselves recoiled. Claire Morgan, a nurse known for her heart more than her rule-following, stood there frozen, the blood of a patient still drying on her latex gloves. That patient was Walter Briggs, an elderly veteran who had collapsed in the waiting room, gasping for breath while being ignored by intake staff, too consumed by policy to see humanity. Claire had acted without permission, without paperwork, without protocol, just instinct. She'd grabbed a crash cart and started emergency care right there on the floor. And now she was being punished for it. No one looked at her as security escorted her through the hospital's gleaming halls. The very staff she had mentored, trained, and comforted in their own breakdowns now turned their faces to the floor. Her badge was stripped, her access revoked, her reputation smeared. Outside, the sky was blue, the sun warm, but Claire felt only the cold hollow of betrayal. She had saved a life, and somehow that made her the villain. Inside the hospital, an entirely different storm was brewing. Unannounced, a black car pulled up to the emergency entrance. Out stepped a man in crisp dress blues, ribbons like confetti across his chest. A 4-star general, the kind of presence that silences a room just by existing in it. General Richard Thompson didn't ask for directions, he demanded them. In minutes, he was in the administrator's office, towering with quiet fury. "I'm here about Nurse Claire Morgan," he said, voice like thunder wrapped in velvet. The administrator flinched, caught off guard by both the visit and the tone. "She's been suspended for breaching protocol," the administrator explained, trying to keep his voice steady. "She intervened without clearance." "Intervened?" The general's eyes narrowed. "She saved Walter Briggs. That man is my father-in-law, a retired war hero, and your staff left him to die in a lobby." Silence collapsed over the office like a closing door. Claire didn't just help him, she kept him alive until a doctor arrived. If she hadn't stepped in, he wouldn't be here today. The administrator's face paled as the weight of his decision began to settle in. The general leaned in, his voice even lower now. "You want to suspend someone? Start with the ones who walked past a dying man. But Nurse Morgan? You reinstate her. Now." Meanwhile, Claire sat on a park bench outside the hospital, staring into the distance, trying to make sense of a world where doing the right thing could cost you everything. She thought of her father, a military medic who always told her, "Right is right, even when it's not allowed." She had lived by that until today. A shadow fell over her, and when she looked up, the general was standing there, hands clasped behind his back. "Are you Claire Morgan?" he asked, and she nodded slowly. "I'm General Thompson. Walter Briggs is my father-in-law. You saved him." Claire blinked away the tears that had been threatening all afternoon. "I was just doing what anyone should have done," she murmured. The general shook his head gently. "Number, you did what no one else had the courage to do. You saw a man in need and you acted. That's heroism, Nurse Morgan, and it's not going unnoticed. You're reinstated. Full honors. Effective immediately." Back inside the hospital, Claire's return was quiet but seismic. Nurses who had looked away now gave her nods of respect. Doctors she once deferred to now deferred to her. The administrator met her in the hallway, shame in his eyes. "I was wrong," he said softly. Claire gave a small smile. "Let's just do better," she replied. On her desk, a bouquet of deep red roses waited with a handwritten note. "Thank you for saving my father. General Thompson." Later that day, Claire checked on Walter Briggs, who was now stable, conscious, and smiling through oxygen tubes. "You look like hell," he joked, voice raspy but full of life. Claire laughed, a sound that hadn't escaped her in days. "You scared the hell out of me," she replied. He took her hand in his. "Thank you for not giving up on an old soldier," he said. And for the first time in days, Claire felt whole again. Morale. Sometimes doing the right thing means going against the grain. It means standing alone, facing consequences, and still choosing humanity over bureaucracy. Because compassion isn't a protocol, it's a responsibility. Before we end the story, let us know in the comment where are you watching from. If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and drop a karma in the comments below.